All in Sports Network. We love sports.
Coming to you from the land of brisket and barbecue, Lone Stars and Longhorns, this is All In Colts presented by the Unstable Blues.
Welcome back in. It's time to step into the Colts Corner as we discuss the offseason moves of the organization. This week, we will each lay out our offseason plan from roster moves to in-house free agents, outside free agents to the draft. So, let's go. All In Colts.
That's correct. I'm Kevin. This is my son Liam. We're the Unstable Blues. Happy to present All In Colts as part of the Rogue Media Sports Network.
Yes. To start it out, the Colts. Not that type of started out.
You know, it's a new week, so here we go.
Yeah. Started out, the Colts have $28 million in cap space. They are, I believe, one of the lowest. I know there's a couple teams, or they're in the middle of the pack somewhere.
Sounds like them.
I know there are some teams that are deeply in debt, which sucks for them.
The Saints, I like, whenever Kellen Moore got hired, I was like, they posted a picture of him just off the plane. I was like, keep that plane warm. He's going to run.
Mm-hmm.
He's in debt, and he's got to deal with Derek Carr.
Yeah.
Who's looking more and more like his brother, running for his life when his brother played for Houston. First ever draft pick from Houston. Destin Adams from A to Z Sports is kind of a polarizing Colts reporter after a failed report guaranteed that the Colts were bringing L'Jarius Sneed. He suggested that the Colts could gain up to $20 million, cutting Samson Ebukam, Raekwon Davis, and Braden Smith before it even gets going.
Yes, all very valid too.
Yep.
I think that all could very well happen.
Yep.
I don't know. I mean, Ebukam is probably the biggest name that I would, if anyone, I'd keep on out of that. But even then, I'm still like, eh.
Yeah.
We have no idea the personal things going on with Braden Smith, but he has been an injury liability the past 2 seasons and is due almost $20 million by himself in 2025. The Colts will have $3 million in dead cap if they release him, but would save almost 17. So that would be, kind of how I just talked about, in my opinion, the best business decision there to save as much money as possible.
Yep. Then as far as me at this point, I would leave it up to the new defensive coordinator, Lou Anarumo, if he wanted to keep or cut Samson or Raekwon, but I would make him choose at least one.
Mm-hmm.
My guess is it would be Raekwon with the strength of his of this year's D tackle draft class. You can go cheaper there and get somebody for more cheaper and more longevity. There's also a chance of cutting all three, but then you're also approaching $10 million in dead money, but you're still saving money. So
it's very true.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to go through categories. We got in-house free agents, free agency, and then the draft. So we're going to do our early first 4 rounds of draft picks. That will be, we're going to kind of go in order of kind of the calendar, right? So you can re-sign your in-house free agents at any point at this point. So we're going to start there.
Yes.
How are you going to do this?
I like what you said. I don't remember whenever you said that. I remember it was online though. You said let people test the market. I like that. I like that idea. Because kind of, you're like, it's kind of like if you don't find anyone, we'll take you. But if you find someone, then we know what we have to do to replace you, kind of thing.
So is that how you're taking all of the free agents?
No. I believe there are some that you need to sign.
All right.
3 specifically that come to mind. One being Grant Stewart. I love the way he plays on the field. He's very, very reliable special teamer as well. Because special teams is a very, very important aspect of a football game. And then
agreed. Didn't you say, I don't know if you mentioned this offline, but in our pitch where I am GM and you're a coach, there are offensive coaches and defensive coaches, you said that you will be a
special teams head coach.
Right.
And then the other two that come to mind are Will Fries and Wesley French. Everyone else can test the market and see kind of where that lands with them, whether they want to go somewhere or not. But I think those are the three guys that you need to keep, just because French and Fries, not because the French fries next to each other. It is good, but because they both have proven themselves as very good offensive linemen, and Grant Stewart is Grant Stewart. So,
all right. I have listed these out in priority, right? So the priority of signing. Number one, Will Fries. Yes, he's coming off of a season-ending injury. There's bargaining that could happen because of that, but especially if you're cutting Braden Smith, your offensive line, and if you're letting Ryan Kelly go as well, your offensive line that was really strong is all of a sudden, cheaper, but got some holes potentially. So,
right.
And to have Will Fries opposite Q on the other side, we've talked about what an asset those two guys are and how similar they are how many times can you get two guards that are that athletic who can get out and block on the edges?
Right.
That's a beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then you pair that with something like
the gauntlet as they march it right down Pittsburgh's throat.
Yep.
Tanner Bortolini, but we'll hold that thought, because I'm with you on the French fries, but I'm not there yet. I didn't prioritize him as high as you. Maybe you're better off with that now that I'm thinking about some of the holes there. But number two, Grant Stewart, totally agree with you. I think we mentioned at some point the response to Pat McAfee, and I would only keep 5 guys. He's one of the 5 guys because of the character, how he plays, how he practices, sets a tone that I do not want to miss.
Mm-hmm.
And even though he doesn't play a premium position, I believe that under Lou Amaruno, he becomes a valuable asset, not only on special teams, but also at linebacker on defense.
Yeah.
You're gonna kill me on this one. Ashton Doolin, same thing. Mr. Special Teams coach. There is no one on the current roster or that I can think of that you can get for a decent value like him that does what he does. His gunner position, how he's able to run and tackle, is largely unmatched. Number 4 is Mo Alley Cox.
Okay.
This is up in the air. I'll throw him in with my next group, which is Test the Market. So from here on, Test the Market, although this next one is kind of up in the air. Number 5, I guess these could be interchangeable. You could convince me either way. Dio Adengbo, I have question marked as Test the Market or not. If I can't get a decent deal done that I want, that I like, then I'll allow him to test the market, and we'll see how it goes from there.
Yeah.
Also testing the market would be Wesley French and Julian Blackman. I think there's enough safeties out there in free agency that I would rather have than Julian. And even in the draft, there's probably a few that might have more upside than Julian. Julian was on a 1-year prove-it deal this past year after he was allowed to test the market and got brought back in. He did good, but he was also overshadowed at safety by Nick Cross.
Yeah.
So,
It's true.
and Julian is sort of in a lost spot. He could go strong safety, but he could go free safety. And sometimes he ends up in a jack of two trades and master of none situation.
Mhm. Yep.
So those are the 7 that I have on my list. Everybody after that is either a no-go or I'll take you if I can kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah. Makes sense.
now, open free agents. Of all the free agents, I have a pretty decent list, all in order of who I would target. Why don't you go with whoever you think? Throw
Okay.
some names out there.
I have 5. I didn't go too big with this just
Okay.
because top guys. I don't have them in any particular order.
Sounds good. Shotgun it.
Yes. Number 1, Dre Greenlaw. He is, I think a lot of people will be going after him. Maybe not as many as people expect because of the injury and all that he's coming off of. Next, I think Eli Apple is because he did play with Lou back whenever Lou was on the Bengals and Eli. I think another big one is what's his name? Mike Gesicki, the tight end. And then I think my last 2, Justin Simmons. I mentioned him and both Eli Apple last year around the same time, but that didn't happen. Here you are again with another chance, a new DC, so maybe something new will happen. And then I think finally, I said go out and get a quarterback in free agency, not the draft. So I'm going to say Jameis Winston. I've been backing this guy up the whole time.
Yep.
I love the way he carries himself, and he's not too bad of a quarterback either.
I like it. And like I've mentioned, similar style to AR, so you don't have to change the offense when you get if you have to bring in a backup.
Yes.
All right. My order, same guy, number 1, Dre Greenlaw. To me, this is a no-brainer. You let EJ Speed go, you get Dre Greenlaw, you get an upgrade, and you might get a little bit of a value because of the year. Honestly, it's almost like it's been 2 years because it went out in the Super Bowl and hasn't been back since. So you might get a little bit of a value because of the recent injury. My number 2 is Justin Simmons. And then I've got several Bengals connections for Lou Amaruno, Mike Hilton, cornerback, and I also have Mike Gesicki, tight end. Higher on my list here is wide receiver DeMarcus Robinson from the Rams. I don't with the Rams having him and Tutu Atwell out there, and then Cooper Kupp wanting a trade. There's lots of wide receiver questions that the Rams have, and so I am in the market to get another down the field threat. DeMarcus Robinson scored more touchdowns than any other Rams receiver. That's what he did. It was kind of like Westbrook-Akine for the Titans, Jamison Williams for the Lions, that kind of role. I will throw out Westbrook-Akine is at the bottom of my list just here. And then to fill out the rest, I've got safety Von Bell, who I believe was also another Bengals connection, and of course Eli Apple, who did play that Super Bowl year for the Bengals. Wide receiver Mike Williams, I threw him out there in one of our episodes because of his Chargers connection with Shane. I think that he might be a veteran presence. Sign a 1-year deal just to give AR another vet target. And then before Westbrook-Akine, I've got Tyler Conklin as a tight end and linebacker Joe Bacci who also is another Bengals connection.
Mhm.
So,
Yep.
yeah, we're
A
kind of
decent amount of Bengals. Yeah.
right, and a decent amount of defense because we
Mhm.
understand how this goes. Where the Colts are in their
We have seen towards the end of this past season that if the defense keeps it close, the offense can pull it out.
right, and then
So we need
you
the
sprinkle in
defense to keep it close.
some vets on offense just to give a security blanket to your still
Exactly.
very unproven quarterback. So
Mhm. And young wide receiver core, very young on offense.
Yep.
So
all right, draft time.
yes,
I need 4 rounds of your draft picks. I think I know where this is going.
I have a picture of it
Oh,
right here.
okay.
I did, some mock simulators and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
you
That's
said
how
you were
I
going to.
prefer to like it.
Yeah.
And this is one of my favorite ones that I did. So
Okay.
round 1, pick 14, Tyler Warren. On this one, there was also like options to trade your picks away. I decided not to do that, just straight up 4 rounds.
Sure.
Pick 45, second round was Jade Barron, I believe is how you say his name. Safety out of Texas.
All right. Yep.
Xavier Watts wasn't there. I was looking for him. He wasn't there. So I was like, okay, that's fine. Round 3, pick 80. A little bit down the list, especially in this category, Cam Scatterboo. But I believe I have been saying it for a while. Ever since that Arizona State game, that is the running back that I want out of this class. And then round 4, pick 116. You can never get too many offensive linemen. He's a guard out of LSU, Garrett Dillinger. So
I like it. That's very well thought out. I've heard a lot of people say that with the Colts' current running back situation, 3rd round running back too high. I completely disagree because I also have a 3rd round running back. It's just a different one. I did not do a mock. To me, this time of year is way too early to do mocks because you have no idea what anyone is getting.
it's true.
You have no idea where people's draft stock is right now. People's draft stock did the first little adjustment during the Senior Bowl, but it will do a massive adjustment and realignment come the combine in a few weeks. And so we'll do another episode of this after that, and it will shift and change, and we'll have a lot to talk about at that point. So without further ado, Tyler Warren.
That is the number 1 guy on, I think, just about everybody's mock draft for the Colts. The only thing is higher is maybe a safety, which I can definitely see, or a corner.
To me, if Tyler Warren is there, it's a must-take home run slam dunk.
When is the last time you had a tight end that was actually a big name tight end? Probably last year.
Brock Bowers.
No.
For the Colts.
For the Colts.
Gotcha. Dallas Clark.
I'd say either Dallas Clark or maybe Kobe Fleener. Maybe. Just because of the things he could accomplish.
Yeah, and the relationship he had with Andrew Luck from college.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm like,
that's part of it.
I was like, part of it was luck, though. So,
yeah.
But
Jack Doyle, you had Jack Doyle, but
he was under the radar all the time.
Very much under the radar.
I'm talking about a guy who will thrive. Yeah. And the past 2 years, the first tight ends taken that are rookies have performed very, very well, both in offensive rookie of the year contention. So who's to say it won't happen a 3rd year?
No. Yeah, I agree. And I read somewhere that there were 15 total tight ends that had more production this year than all of the Colts tight ends put together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is very sad.
About half of the league had tight ends that were better than the entire tight end room for the Colts. This has to happen. 2nd round, I am going defensive tackle. My guy, Derek Harmon out of Oregon. This may be too high for him, but I was playing around with whatever I wanted to do here. Okay. And then, like I said, third round, another running back. The running back I think is the best fit is Devin Neal. Scatterboo is a little bit more niche. And I believe Devin Neal is the eventual baton taker from JT.
Okay.
And that's like 2 years left on JT's contract. You might be looking at that's just too early. But if you're looking at building your team, well, I believe you have to go before it's time, because let's be honest, if JT gets an injury this next year, you need to have a replacement in place and be able to get out of that last year of the contract if necessary. You can't do that if you wait till the last year, or worse, later.
Yeah.
So I don't think third round running back is too high at all. And then fourth round, still maybe a little too high for this, but I don't want to miss it. You say get Jameis Winston. I have said get Dylan Gabriel from Oregon. That would make 2 out of the first 4 rounds from Oregon. That's how much I believe in the program and what they are doing. So that is my 4 rounds.
I agree. I like it.
Well, that is it and all that we have for today. Update from the South. We're going to look at the other teams in the Colts division. Then we will finish off the week with our second Hall Ball episode as we look at other Indiana sports happenings. And I'm going to throw in one extra one that I'm calling the Great Debate.
This is Liam.
And this is Kevin,
reminding you to stay all in Colts.
All in Sports Network. We love sports.